Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Franchise Hockey Manager 9, and today we have still the Hartford Whalers. Before we get started, I want to point out to the obvious. Yes, okay. So that happened. So I got in the shower and the crest fell off. It's magical. Alright, so, we are debating if we're gonna make a change with the beard as well. I made sure that that it was understood that this that you see here is the very hard work that I've put forth over one calendar year to achieve this. So if we are to shave it, it's gonna take at least a year to get back to this point. And besides, right now I kind of look like a plundering Viking or something. Except I'm lacking the sheer violence in my face, but I kind of have the look to play the part. I could probably be a spare part on a show like that's in the background and doesn't talk or something like that, like an NPC. But anyway. Alright, so today we're going to go ahead and play November of 1980. We did fairly good in October. We were above 500, so I would think that it's pretty good. We are 6-5. We have a couple injuries, but above 500 after 1 month is A-OK as far as I'm concerned. You might be seeing on your screen that Dave Schultz is going down, so I decided that if I'm going to have an enforcer, I'm gonna bring up Nick Fotiu. He's a little bit better at hockey than Dave Schultz is. Although Dave Schultz did have 3 assists in 8 games, but Fotiu is younger and he's a little bit better at the actual game of hockey, while being an exceptional face puncher as well. He's also a 20 and enforcer and whatnot. So why not? I finished the last video and I didn't put Jordy Douglas on injured reserve. I did off screen because it's 1 to 2 weeks, and I recalled Ray Allison here. So Ray Allison is not a world beater or anything, but usually I go by role and everything. This time I was like, it's only for like a couple weeks, right? So I'm gonna go with the guy that had the best record in the AHL, and he had 16 points in 10 games. So I was like, you're getting the nod, and he's a 10 in a few things, so he shouldn't be hurting us too badly. All right, so we are 3rd in the conference, so that's pretty swell. Look at me with my old people expressions. Well, that's probably because I'm old. So we are going to be getting underway. I don't have a trade in the works like at the start of the last stream / video. I had that all planned out and everything. Not this time. We're gonna go ahead and try to stick to our team. And speaking of which, we are going to be playing the first game of November at home. It's going to be against the Vancouver Canucks, and they are struggling. They have the 1 win this season. They are 1-7-2. We did not play the Canucks this season, and they did trade Stan Schmiel to the LA Kings. So let's go ahead and take a look at their team now. Right, so they do have Yeri Gillis and Thomas Graydon that are both hurt. Those 2 players are not going to be playing this game. And they have Jim Corsi and Glenn Hanlon. On D, they have Marty Howe. That's John Hughes, Kearns, Jamie McCown, Mano Schneps, and Dale Daly, Lindgren, and McCarthy. And then up front they have Brent Ashton, Hamilton Libet, Derlago, Butch Goring, Lupul, Udleifson, Blight, Callender, Foster, and Rick Vive. Again, when I made the trade for Wilf Payment, one of the players I was looking at was Rick Vive, 21 years old, kind of like a power forward type of player. But they didn't really have a D that I really wanted. Like, I didn't want to try to get Dale Talon at 30 years old or anything like that. So I kind of looked in a different direction. But Rick Vive was one of the guys that I was looking at. All right. Well, we are ready for some Waiters action here. Alright, so let's see. Foti's going to play on the third line. Yeah, so is Ray Allison that I just called back up. Right, it does suck to not have Jordy Douglas on the left side here. But anyway. So Glenn Hanlon's going to be in net for the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to go with John Garrett. And of course, go Waiters, go! Let's have a good month again. Let's position ourselves nicely for the playoffs. Oh, a 3-1 loss. That's not good. That's at home. That's against a team that we should have beat. Oh, that's not good. Right, shots were 30 apiece. Butch Goring was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Bill Bennett was the second star. He had an assist. And Lupul was the third star with a goal. 8,210 people in attendance for this game. So again, you know, I need to earn the fans' trust for them to want to come to the ring or get better players. Either or probably both, actually. So we did open up the scoring in that game. Rob Ramage scored from Wilf Payment and Bill Bennett. Look at that. The two guys I got from a trade on the same goal there. It was 1-0, but like 40 seconds later, the Vancouver Canucks tied the game. It was 1-1 after 1. Then they scored in the second period, made it 2-1, and then added a third goal in the third period. And we lost this 3-1. That's not good. I was kind of counting on this game to propel us into November with a winning streak or something. Now instead we get to feel bad about ourselves. Oh, lots of news here. Alright. Pierre Lagouche extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against the Detroit Red Wings. Pierre Lagouche extended his point streak to 12 games with that. John Ogrodnik's point streak ended at 12 games. He did not get a point against Buffalo. His streak ends. Mike Foligno back from suspension in Detroit. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 17 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Washington Capitals. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Gary Sargent. He had 4 assists against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Mike Bossy extends his goal streak to 7 games with 2 goals and 2 assists against the Kings. Pretty good game. And that was 21 straight games with a point for him. Mike Bossy is unstoppable. Passes on point for Bob Bourne in that same game. He had a goal and 4 assists. And Brian Trotzer also had a good game in that game. 6 games with a goal and 2 assists for him. And that was 9 straight games with an assist as well. And Randy Mannery is back from suspension in LA. Oh, owner confidence update. Let's see what he has to say. Harold Baldwin is satisfied with the team's performance this season. We're in a rebuilding process. Think carefully before adding veterans to the roster at the expense of giving our young guys playing time and or acquiring new prospect. Taking a longer view, we're not expecting to be a serious contender next season, but we're not planning on a total rebuild either. The fans aren't thrilled. Opinion among them is split on your performance. No need to worry about your job. Replacing you is out of the question. Oh, so we went from I don't think you're gonna be here next month to don't worry, we trust you. Okay. I see what's going on here. It's probably the haircut. Now I look a little bit more trustworthy or something. Alright, now we have 3 days off and we're going to be on the road for a quick 2-game road trip. So that might give the time to Markow and Jay Wells to feel good enough to play. Oh, for a second I thought it was Norm McIver that was on waivers. I was like, yes, please, I'm going to pick him. But yeah, it's Don McIver. I will not pick Don McIver. Pierre Lagouche extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist against the Canucks. It was 13 straight games with a point for him. And Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal and an assist against the Chicago Blackhawks. Alright, so those guys are feeling better. And Jay Wells is recovering nicely, I guess is what I should say. Alright, another day off. Bob Fichtner has been put on waivers by the Nordiques. Yeah, I'm not going to claim this guy. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 18 games, 2 assists against Pittsburgh. Markov back soon, that'd be great. Jay Wells not far from returning, that would also be great. Another day off. Jack McIllargay is on waivers. We're not claiming him. Memorable game for Steve Shutt. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Quebec Nordiques. Ryan Throtzer extends his assist streak to 10 games. He had 3 assists against the Red Wings. Markov is not far from returning. And Jay Wells is completely recovered. That is good news. Let's see. I'm probably going to get Mark Renault back down. Yep. We're going to go ahead and get Mark Renault back down. So he only played the 1 game. And we are going to get Dave Poulin back up. It wasn't, you weren't punished, Dave. We just needed a D-man and you don't play D. Alrighty, we're going to be in St. Louis to play the Blues. Blues are 5-7-1. We are 1-0 against them this season. A nice 5-1 win in St. Louis. So we're playing in St. Louis again. Let's see if we can beat them in their own barn here for the 2nd time in a row. Right, Jay Wells back. Markov's going to play Hurt. So Markov with Rob Ramage, Jay Wells with Gordy Roberts, and Brian Baltimore with Darren Veitch. Alright, Al Smith is going to be in net for the Whalers. Dom Beaupre is going to be in net for the Blues. And of course, go Whalers, go. A nice road win would be very nice right now. And we lost 4-3, and now we're dropping under 500 for the first time of the season. Oh god. We outshot them 32-21 as well, so we just didn't get the goaltending from Al Smith at all. So Brownschild was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Bill Bennett was the 2nd star with a goal and an assist. And Sutter was the 3rd star with a goal and an assist. Right, so the Blues scored first in the first period. Then Mike Rogers scored from Gordy Roberts and Jay Wells. It was tied at 1 after 1. And we had a fight between Larry Giroux and Jay Wells. Then in the 2nd period, the Blues scored. It was 2-1. Then we scored 2 goals. Jay Wells scored from Bill Bennett and Matty Agman. Then Bill Bennett from Matty Agman and Bob Stevenson. It was 3-2 Hartford. But a little bit later, the Blues tied the game. It was 3-3 heading into the 3rd period. And then early in the 3rd period, the Blues made it 4-3. We had all that time left, over 17 minutes, but we just couldn't tie the game. So we lost 4-3, so 2 losses in a row to start the month of November. Not what I wanted right off the gate. Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 13 games against us. He had 2 assists. Pierre Larouche extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal against the Colorado Rockies. And that was 14 straight games with a point for him. Mike McEwen is suspended with the Rangers. He's going to miss 7 games. What did he do? Wayne Gretzky's point streak ended at 18 games. Oh, of all the teams that stopped Wayne Gretzky, it was the Vancouver Canucks, who are having a really bad season so far. Held scoreless against the Canucks. Maris Lukovic has a good game for the Jets. He had a hat-trick against the Flames. And we have a trade proposal from the Boston Bruins. They want to trade me a Dale Yakiewicz for Don Aussie. Now, I'm probably not going to make that trade just because I struggle to pronounce this dude's last name. I'm still going to look just in case. Nah, it's a no. It's going to be a no from me. God, we sure are getting a lot of trade offers for Don Aussie. I wonder if something decent's gonna come through. I always remember playing, was it Franchise Hockey Manager 6 or 7? I don't remember. And the Islanders offered me a young Brian McCabe for Rob Murphy. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Alright, we are now in Colorado to play against the Rockies. Rockies are 4-7-2. We are 1-0 against them this season. We beat them 4-1 back at home. Let's beat them. I think we can. John Garrett is going to be in net for us. Wayne Stevenson in net for the Rockies. Come on, Hartford, give us a W. Give us a whaley W. How about that? The computer didn't like my joke. I lost 3-2. I had a 3-2 loss on the road. We started November with 3 straight losses. It's not going good, folks. We were outshot 31-26 in that one. René Robert was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Greg Carroll was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Denis Savard was the third star with 2 goals. Right, nobody scored in the first period. Then the Rockies scored twice in the second period. Then we went into the third and we managed to tie the game. Bill Bennett scored shorthanded from Greg Carroll, and then Greg Carroll from Bob Stevenson and Nick Fotu. It was tied at 2, but with 16 seconds left into the game, Denis Savard scored on a power play while Brian Baltimore was in the box. And we lost this game 3-2, and our old friend Charlie Simmer that I traded at the start of this season got an assist on the goal. That will teach us from doing things like that. Wilf payment, 1 point since the start of the month. Gary Doak converts to left defense. Oh, he's getting worse, Gary. Gary, you're struggling a little bit, Gary. All right, we have 2 days off, and then we're going to be back home for 3 games. Clark Gillies extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against the Boston Bruins. Brian Tretzer's assist streak ended at 10 games. Didn't get a point in that game. Philadelphia's Bob Kelly is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. Passes on point for the Rat. He had 4 assists in that same game against the Kings. Mark House says, I'm ready. Doesn't matter, man. You've been a real disappointment since I started this series. A real disappointment. Alright. Oh, look at all those waivers. What is going on? A great night for Rayo Rustalainen. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Jets. That's a pretty good game there. And Vancouver's trying to trade Martial. Right, let's take a look at all those waivers. Maybe there's somebody for us in there. Steve Vickers, that's a no. Yeah, he's struggling. Cliff Corral. Oh, that's a big no. Chuck Arneson, yeah, that's a no. Sungin, no, I'm gonna pass. Miller, pass. I have Goons and Enforcers, don't need that. Rick Dorman, same deal. I'm not. Yeah, I think we're just gonna pass on all those beautiful people. Alright, now we're gonna play the Flyers at home. Flyers are now 6-5-3. We are 0-1 against the Flyers. We did lose 3-1 in Philly in October, and a win would be nice. We kind of need to rebound here. Pete Peters is going to be in net for the Flyers. Al Smith is going to be in net for the Whalers. And of course, go Whalers, go! Come on, let's rebound here. Well, that did not happen. A 7-4 loss to the Flyers. Yikes. Ooh, again, Al Smith struggled. Shots were tied 23 apiece. Bill Barber was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Bosniak was the second star. Wow, whew. Let's recompose ourselves here. Bosniak was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Ververgaard was the third star with 2 assists. 8,391 people in attendance for this game. Philadelphia scored the first goal of the game. Then we scored 3 goals. Markow from Matty Agman and Rob Ramage. Then Ray Allison from Bill Bennett and Rob Ramage. And then Chuck Clefley on the power play from Rick Aduano and Wolf Payment. 3-1 Hartford. Philadelphia did score, made it 3-2. Heading into the second period, we did have a fight between Nick Fotiu and Colin Campbell. Then the second period was terrible. We allowed 4 unanswered goals. We were down 6-3 after 2. In the third period, Darren Veitch scored from Bill Bennett and Gary Doak, made it 6-4, but it was too little too late. The Rat added a goal, and we lost 7-4. And Darren Veitch is hurt. Alright, so we might need to recall somebody. We'll see. He's day to day, so maybe not. A night to remember for Bill Barber. He had a hat-trick against us, as we saw. Suspension over for Bob Kelly, back in the lineup for the Flyers. Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 14 games. He had an assist against the Flames. No one could stop Kent Nilsson. He had a hat-trick against the Blues. No further punishment for Denis Savard in that same game. Mike Bussey extends his goal streak to 8 games. He had a goal against the Blackhawks, and that was 22 straight games with a point for him. Clark Gillies extends his goal streak to 6 games. He had a goal and an assist in that same game. Denis Potvin extends his goal streak to 5 games, a goal and an assist, still in that same game. And then Pierre Larouche extends his goal streak to 8 games with a goal against the Capitals. That was 15 straight games with a point for him. Alright, we have 3 days off, and then we're going to be playing the Minnesota North Stars. So, yeah, we need... Oh, let me take a look at Veitch here. Yeah, we're good. I don't need to recall nobody. Stan Jonathan was suspended in Boston. He's going to miss 3 games. Pierre Larouche extends his point streak to 16 games with an assist against the Washington Capitals. Denis Maruk in that same game extended his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal. Tom Lysak extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Minnesota North Stars. Doug Wilson extends his goal streak to 5 with 2 goals in that same game. And Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 15 games with a goal against the Edmonton Oilers. We need to score more goals and allow less goals. We need more talent on the team. Bud Stefanski has been put on waivers, where he will more than likely remain. And Ray Allison got hurt. I don't know doing what, because we were off. He's day to day, so we should be good. Red light stays on for Steve Shutt. He had a hat-trick against the Colorado Rockies. Mike Bussey extends his goal streak to 9 games with 2 goals against the Minnesota North Stars. That was 23 straight games with a point for him. Clark Gillies extends his goal streak to 7 games. He had a goal and an assist in that same game. Rich Leduc extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against the Chicago Blackhawks. Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 16 games. He scored a goal against the Canucks. And Edmonton and Toronto agreed to a trade that's going to send Jim Harrison to Toronto for Bob Parent. Very small trade. Looks like the big trades occur during the off-season from what we've seen. We've seen some big trades in the off-season, but during the season, it's usually small fishes. Alright, we are about to play the North Stars, so we have lost our first 4 games of the month. We haven't won in a while. North Stars are 8-5 on the season. That's good for 5th in the conference. We are 1-0 against them. We did win in Minnesota 4-3 back in October. We need a win here. Oh, let me check for... Okay, yeah, somebody can step in. Alright. Gilles Meloche is going to be in net for the North Stars. Al Smith is going to be in net for us. He's had some bad games for us this season. Hopefully he bounces back. And of course, go Hartford, go. Oh, the slide continues. It's a 3-1 loss. I'm not sure what to do at this point. We got outshot 31-21. Islop was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Greg Carroll was the second star with a goal. And Christoph was the third star with 2 assists. 7,856 people in attendance for this game. Nobody scored in the first period. Nobody scored in the second. All the scoring happened in the third. We actually opened up the scoring. Greg Carroll scored his 5th from Markow. It was 1-0 Hartford. And then Minnesota scored 3 goals. And that was it for us. We lost 3-1. Is it the Dave Schultz effect? I got rid of Dave Schultz and now like we're not able to win anymore. Pierre Larouche point streak ended at 16 games. He was held scoreless against the Red Wings. Great night for Marcel Dion. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Montreal Canadiens. Denis Marouk extends his goal streak to 6 games. He had a goal. Rich Leduc extends his assist streak to 9 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Jets. Mike Bossy's point streak ended at 23 games. He was held scoreless against the Maple Leafs. Wow. Jordy Douglas ready for full contact. Yeah, we need for him to come back. Looks like it's either losing Dave Schultz or losing Jordy Douglas because both things happened at the same time, but we lost 5 straight since those guys have been out. And we have a trade proposal from the Boston Bruins who still want Don Alcy, and they are offering me the exact same guy that they offered me like literally 10 days ago. I said no the first time, I didn't change my mind. I know I'm losing, but I'm not going to make that trade. Alright, 2 more days off, and then we're going to be playing at home again. Jordy Douglas might be back soon, that'd be great. And then we have a trade proposal from the Edmonton Oilers. They are offering me Dave Fortier for Don Alcy. Dave Fortier, yeah. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's going to be a no for sure. Now, of course, I don't think I'm going to get a super great player for Don Alcy, but I at least would like a young guy that has maybe the very slight potential of hitting a 10 in one category somewhere. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 17 games with an assist against the Colorado Rockies. René Robert extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Rockies in that same game. Jordy Douglas almost back. And will Quebec City move Phil Russell? He's been put on the trading block. Alright, Washington is in town. They are 7-2. Let's take a look. We have not played them this season, so we're going to take a look at their lineup. They have open hostility as far as the team harmony. Right, so Gary Innes is hurt. He's not going to play this game. And also hurt is Robert Picard, so he's also not going to play. That's probably their best defenseman at this point. So in that they have Baker and Graham. On D they have Pierre Bouchard, Yvon Lab, Lane, Picard, Rick Green, Gevremont, McKinnon, Svensson. Up front they have Charon, Girard, Polish, Edberg, Jarvis, Marouk, Walter, Casolato, Mike Gartner, Gustafsson, Larmer, Rowe, and Sirois. So not the strongest team. I think we have a shot to beat them. Come on. Steve Baker is going to be in net for Washington. We're gonna go with Hal Smith. Come on, Whalers. Oh. We lost 3-0. Oh, dear God. We were outshot 32-23. Jocelyn Gevremont was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Rick Green was the second star with a goal. And Polish was the third star with a goal as well. We did have some fighting to talk about. Brian Baltimore and Rolf Edberg. And then Nick Foutiou and Gord Lane. And then Jay Wells and Bob Girard. Also of note is that our attendance is plummeting, 7,473. So 6 games ago, we were at 8,000 something. We lost about 1,000 people in attendance due to our poor play. Alright, Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 18 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against the Kings. Denis Potvin is day-to-day with the Islanders. Memorable game from Mike Bossy. He had 3 goals and 3 assists against Buffalo. Yeah, that's a pretty good game indeed. Jim Korn is hurt in Detroit. He has a fractured knee. He's out for 5 months. Suspension over for Stan Jonathan back in the lineup. Jordy Douglas is completely recovered, and Veitch is feeling better. Let's see here. Hey, you can come back in. I'm gonna send Ray Allison back down. That was not... that didn't quite work out. Alright, and now we're going to be in New York to play against the New York Rangers. Now let's see that now that we get Jordy Douglas, let's see if we can manage to win a game. Maybe we were missing him dearly on the first line. Even though he's not the best player, but he was having a decent season. Alright, the Rangers are 11-6-1. We have not played the Rangers so far this season, so we are going to take a look at them. Alright, so Pat Hickey, is hurt. He's not going to be playing this game. It's Davidson and Sotart in net. On D, they have Greshner, Maloney, McEwen, who's suspended. He's not going to play this game. Selwood, Marwell, Murphy, and Vanet. Wow. Larry Murphy and Ron Greshner on the same team. That's not too shabby. Larose, Maloney, Ron Duguay, Esposito, Nilsson, Kachuk, Wickenhauser, Lucien Deblois, Edberg, Johnstone, Meyer, Miller, Murdoch, and McDill up front. Decent D, not that much of a firepower up front. So I'd like to think that I like my chances for this game, but things have not been going very good, so I guess we'll see. John Garrett is going to be in net for us. Doug Sotart is in net for the Rangers. Come on, Whalers. We need a win. We can't lose all month, right? Or maybe we can. We got blistered 7-1. Things are not going very good, folks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat my own challenge. We'll see. Rangers outshot us 27-18. That was a massacre at Madison Square Garden. I guess we went out to party. I mean, it is 1980, right? So the players probably went to party the night before in the Big Apple, got home at the hotel room at 5 in the morning and, can't do that, man. Outshot 27-18. First star was Phil Esposito. He had 2 goals and an assist. Ron Greshner was a second star with 2 assists, and Edberg was a third star with a goal and an assist. Not a whole lot to talk about. Rangers scored in the first period. Then in the second period, we actually tied the game. Jordy Douglas scored his 5th on the power play, so welcome back to the lineup. From Mike Rogers and Wilf Payment, it was tied at 1. Then the Rangers scored. It was 2-1 after 2. We didn't look too bad at that point. We still had a shot. There was a Dave Maloney and Wilf Payment fight. And then the Rangers scored 5 goals in the third period. And yeah, that wasn't pretty. Ron Graham has been put on waivers by the Capitals. Pierre Larouche keeps fans on their feet all night. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals and an assist in that one against the Nordiques. Rich Leduc extends his assist streak to 10 games. In that same game, he had an assist. René Robert extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against the Flames. And Darren Veitch, not far from returning. That'd be great. Yeah, we're not doing good. All right. Let's advance. We have 3 days off, and then we're gonna be in Uniondale to play against the Islanders, who are a very scary team. Darren Veitch is completely recovered. Rich Leduc extends his assist streak to 9 games. He had an assist against the Washington Capitals. And Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 19 games with a goal against the Islanders. He's having a nice season, Wayne Babich. Of course, I'm more familiar with Dave Babich. Started his career a little bit later. I remember his mustache when I was a kid. Mike Forbes has been put on waivers by the Oilers. We are not claiming this guy. No additional missed time for Winnipeg's Norwich, not suspended. Good night for Steve Jensen. He had 4 assists against the Jets in that same game. Phil Esposito has arrived at 1,250 games in his career. Celebrated that with a goal. And that was against the Flyers. Phil Esposito is now 38 years old and he is still a 3.5-star player. Al McAdam extends his point streak to 12 games. He had an assist against Pittsburgh. And Rich Leduc's assist streak ended at 11 games. He was held scoreless against the Red Wings. Alright, we are about to play the very scary New York Islanders. They are 9-8-3 on this season. We are 0-1 against the Islanders this season. We lost 5-1 at home against them. Now we have the mandate of trying to beat them in New York. Good luck to us. We are going to need this. Al Smith in net for us. Billy Smith in net for the Islanders. Now I'm really scared for my players' well-being. Go Whalers, go! Oh, we lost 7-3. We cannot stop the bleeding. We have not wait. It is November 20th, and we have not won a single game in November. This is terrible. So what might happen here is that after this, or maybe soon, I might be thinking about a coaching change at this point. Obviously, what my coach is trying to do is not working. I understand I don't have world beaters as much as my team goes, but this is terrible. Right, the Islanders outshot us 36-32. Clark Gillies was the first star of the game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Mike Bussey was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Brian Throttier was the third star with 2 assists. Islanders scored twice in the first period, and it was 2-0 Islanders after 1. Then there was a fight between Gilles Lupien and Bill Bennett. Then in the second period, Islanders scored, made it 3-0. Then Markow scored from Greg Carroll, made it 3-1. Then the Islanders added 2 more goals. It was 5-1 after 2. Then in the third period, Matty Agman scored his 5th from Darren Veitch and Bob Stevenson, made it 5-2. Then Islanders scored 2 goals, made it 7-2. Greg Carroll scored from Matty Agman and Markow to make it 7-3, and that was the end of this game. Yeah, things are not going good. Great night for Clark Gillies. As we saw, he had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Strong game for Guy Lafleur. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Detroit Red Wings. Al McAdam extends his point streak to 13 games. He had 2 goals against the Flyers. And the Bruins are offering me that trade again. No, I said no. Unless you want to add Ray Bourque. That would shut them down. Right, let's take a look here. Let's see at who's available as a head coach. Alright, there's quite a bit. And now what I want is... I think I might want Chris McBride. Great, above average, good. That's pretty good. The only thing that he's poor at is physical training. So let's see if we can fire our coach now and get Chris McBride. Team ownership does not feel that there is any reason to fire Don Blackburn at this time. You can't fire him anyhow, but it will have an impact on your job security. Oh yeah, yes, I still want to fire him. I don't care that it affects my job security. I can't be fired. And now we're gonna go here, and we are going to get McBride as our head coach, and hopefully things are going to start changing a little. There you go. Now let's come here. Okay. I don't care about his scouting ratings. Probably would like that he has better player management, but yeah. Alright, now let's see how we do with this guy as our coach. Because honestly, I had to do something, right? And I did the most common hockey move there is instead of, you know, I did the easy thing. I fired the coach and I got another one. That's what they do in hockey, and that's what I did right here. But we'll see what happens. I needed to do something, it was terrible. Alright, we have a day off, and then we're going to go ahead and play against the Vancouver Canucks. Gary Ennis has been put on the block by Washington. Right, we have a new coach, and the Vancouver Canucks are back in town. Now, that's the first team that we played. They gave us our first loss of the month, and we haven't won since. So now I would like to, you know, shellac them for putting us on that terrible slide that we've been on. Alright, so Vancouver has been playing a lot better this month. They are now 7-11-2, and of course we are 0-1 against them this season. Alright, so Glenn Hanlon is going to be in net for us. Al Smith is going to be in net for... Glenn Hanlon is going to be in net for Vancouver. Al Smith is going to be in net for us. Go Whalers go. Let's get a win for our new coach here. A 6-3 victory, so the electroshock has worked. 6-3 win, finally a win at home, finally a win in November. A nice 6-3 victory over the Canucks. We were outshot 32-21. Markov, for once, had a good game. He was the first star with 3 assists. Jordy Douglas was the second star with an assist, and Wilf Payment was the third star with 2 goals. 7,668 people in attendance for this game. Vancouver did score first in the first period, and then we scored 3 goals. Rob Ramage from Markow and Matty Agman, then Gordy Roberts from Bo Berglund and Jordy Douglas, then Wilf Payman from Rick Aduano and Bill Bennett. 3-1 Hartford after 1. And in the second period, Chuck Lefley scored from Markow and Bernie Johnston, and then Wilf Payman from Darren Veitch and Markow. 5-1 Hartford after 2. Vancouver scored twice in the third period to come to within 2, but then we added an empty net goal. Matty Agman from Chuck Lefley and Gary Doak. It was a 6-3 victory. We also had one fight between Bill Bennett and Harold Schneps, and that was the end of the game. All right, maybe we can redeem ourselves a little bit with a few wins before the end of the month here. Greg Carroll improves at left wing. Alright, we're going to sim one day, and then we're going to be in Chicago to play against the Blackhawks. Dino Ciccarelli extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had 2 goals against the Blackhawks. Al McAdam extends his point streak to 14 games. He had an assist in that same game. Guy Lafleur extends his goal streak to 5 games. 2 goals and 2 assists against the Flyers. Mike McEwen is back from suspension with the Rangers. Dave Shand is suspended with the Flames. He's going to miss 3 games. Wayne Babich extends his point streak to 20 games with a goal and an assist against the Red Wings. Marcel Dion has produced 900 points in his career with a goal against Toronto. Marcel Dion is 29 years old and he is a 4-star player. Lanny McDonald extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal in that same game. Alright, so we have 4 games left here in November. We are going to be in Chicago right now, and then we're going to go back home for 3 games. Chicago is 8, 10, and 4 on the season. Let's take a look at their lineup. We have not played them this season. Alright, so Daryl Sutter is hurt, and so is Ted Bully. So those two are not going to play. And Tim Higgins and Rich Preston are also hurt, but they might be able to play. Now, Bromley and Esposito in net, Ribble, Wilson, Zaharko, Fox, Brown, O'Connell, Murray, and Crossman on D. Then up front they have Regker, Marks, Bennett, Lysak, Peterson, Ruskowski, Garner, Bordelot, Daigle, Jones, Mulvey, Preston, and Higgins. Alright, let's play at the old Chicago Stadium. Can we beat the Blackhawks? John Garrett in net for us, Tony Esposito in net for Chicago. Go Whalers, go. Let's make it 2 wins in a row. Nope, the new coach effect has already fizzled out. We lost 5-2 on the road in Chicago. Oh dear God, we were outshot 32-13. Mulvey was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Wilson was the second star with a goal, and Barry Peterson was the third star with a goal and an assist. Yikes. 13 shots. Oof. Alright, so Chicago opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 Chicago. Then in the second period, Mike Rogers scored from Wilf Payment to tie the game, but then Chicago scored again. 2-1 Chicago after 2. Then in the third period, Chicago scored again. It was 3-1, and then we scored Jordy Douglas from Gordy Roberts and Bob Stevenson. We were within 1, but 32 seconds later, Chicago scored, and then they scored again 10 plus minutes later, and we lost 5-2. Not going well. I did a coaching change. Now, I could always recall guys like, you know, Randy Cunneyworth and Akin Lube and see if they can do better than some of my guys that I have up, but they are very young. So, I don't know. Lanny McDonald extends his goal streak to 6 games. He had 2 goals and an assist against the Bruins. And Dick Redmond has a memorable game. In that same game, he had 4 assists. Right, we have 2 days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Winnipeg Jets. Great night for Réal Cloutier. He had a hat-trick against the Kings. 1 more day off. Oh, Chris Manry has been put on waivers by the Minnesota North Stars. Guy Lafleur extends his goal streak to 6 games. He had a goal against the Flames. Kent Nilsson extends his goal streak to 5 games. In that same game, he had 2 goals and 2 assists. And Wayne Babbitt's point streak ended at 20 games. He was held scoreless against the Buffalo Sabres. Right, 3 games left. They are all at home. So Winnipeg is in town. They are 5-13-3. Let's take a look at their lineup. So Norwich is hurt. He's not going to play. And Chris Chelios is also hurt, not going to play. Their first round draft pick, Chris Chelios. He's hurt. Now the players that are going to play, well, Dave Christian is also hurt, not going to play. And then Hilliard Graves and Willie Lindstrom are hurt, but they should be able to play. So Andy Moog and Gary Smith in net. Campbell, Lay, Amadeo, Cameron, Jolie, Lorimer on D, Fiddler, Oida, Lukowicz, Stamler, Dylan, Henning, Sullivan, McTavish, Rick Bonus, Graves, Easlip, Lindstrom, Marsh, and Mann up front. I think we have a shot at winning this game. Come on, we can do this. Gary Smith in net for Winnipeg, Al Smith in net for us, and of course, go Whalers, go. And we lost 8-5. Doesn't matter the coach, doesn't matter nothing. We just can't do this. We outshot Winnipeg 41-35 and we lost 8-5. Fiddler was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Oida was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Rick Bonus was the third star with a goal and an assist. 7,914 people in attendance for this game. We did open up the scoring in the first. It was a Brian Baltimore goal from Wilf Payment and Mike Rogers. Then Winnipeg tied the game. And then Brian Baltimore scored again from Jordy Douglas and Darren Veitch. It was 2-1 Hartford. Then Winnipeg scored twice. It was 3-2 Winnipeg after one. We had a couple fights. Brian Baltimore from against Gord McTavish, and then Rob Ramage against Dave Oida. So Brian Baltimore, 2 goals and a fight in the first period. He was a busy man. And in the second period, Winnipeg scored, made it 4-2. Then Mike Rogers from Wilf Payment and Rick Aduono, 4-3 Winnipeg after 2. Then they made it 5-3 Winnipeg. Then Nick Fotu scored on the power play from Rob Ramage and Bob Stevenson. It was 5-4 Winnipeg at that point. They scored 2 goals. It was 7-4. Gordy Roberts scored his 5th from Mike Rogers and Wilf Payment to bring us to 7-5. But they added a goal in an empty net. And yeah, that was an ugly 8-5 loss in front of our own fans. And it doesn't get any better, folks, because the Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers aren't going to be in town for the next game. Gordy Clark has been put on the waivers by the Blues. A night to remember for Mark Messier. He had a hat-trick against the Blackhawks. Passes on point for Orest Kindrachuk with Pittsburgh. He had a goal and 4 assists against Vancouver. Al McAdams' point streak ended at 14 games. He did not get a point against the Nordiques. And we have a trade proposal from the Calgary Flames. Tom Price for Don Aussie. Yeah, that's gonna be a no. There you go. Alright. Alright, we have a day off, and then the Oilers are in town. That's scary. Alright, so no one could stop Rick Martin in Buffalo. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Flames. Guy Lafleur extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal and 3 assists against the Islanders. And it was 12 straight games with a point for him. And then a big game for Steve Shutt in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Alright, so Edmonton is in town. They are 15-4-2. Oh, they have a lot of injuries. So Dave Hunter is hurt, Cam Connor is hurt, Lee Fogolin is hurt, Charlie Uddy is hurt, and Doug Hicks is hurt. So all those guys are not playing. In net they have Eddie Mio and Lindmark. On D they have Paul Coffey, who's hurt but should be able to play. Already Paul Coffey is not better than a 3-star potential. Yeah, I think that our coach, our scouts are a little off on that one. Kevin Lowe, Price, Zetterstrom, Rustalainen, Hamilton, and Siltanen on D. Up front they have Callaghan, Shepard, Semenko, Chipperfield, Gretzky, McClanahan, Messi, Weir, Toll, Glenn Anderson, Good, Lumley, McDonald, and Patey. And yes, you're probably wondering, Wayne Gretzky right now has 47 points in 21 games. Yikes. That's going to be rough. Can we do it? Eddie Mio is going to be in net for the Oilers. John Garrett is going to be in net for the Oilers. Go, Oilers, go. Come on. Oh, we won 3-1 against all odds against the Edmonton Oilers. Wayne Gretzky did not have a multi-point game against us. We were outshot 36-28. Gary Doak was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Mark Messier was the second star with an assist. And Wilf Payment was the third star with a goal. 8,552 people came to see Wayne Gretzky and then maybe the Hartford Oilers. Wilf Payment opened up the scoring in the first period from Mike Rogers and Gary Doak, and then Rick Aduono scored his first of the season from Gary Doak and Mike Polic. It was 2-0 Hartford after 1. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky didn't do anything against us. Wow, didn't even get a point. So Oilers scored in the second period. It was 2-1 Hartford after 2, and then Markow added one more goal in the third period from Bob Stevenson and Matty Agman. 3-1 the final score. We also had a fight between Jay Wells and Brett Callaghan. Mike Zook is suspended with the Blues. He's going to miss 3 games. And Minnesota reportedly receives offers for Gary Sargent. Yeah, probably would be an upgrade, but I don't really have pieces to offer. All right, and we have one last game to play here in November. The Buffalo Sabres are going to be in town. Buffalo is 14-5-3. That's good for second in the conference, and we are 0-1 against them. We got torched 7-0 in Buffalo earlier this season. We are going to try to win this one. Goran Augusta is going to be in net for Buffalo. Al Smith is going to be in net for us. Go Whalers, go. Let's finish with 2 wins in a row. A 5-3 victory. Look at us. 2 wins in a row to finish the month. All right. Oh, we were outshot 41-20, so that was a lucky win there. Bob Stevenson was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Korab was the second star with 2 assists, and Greg Carroll was the third star with 2 assists as well. 7,795 people in attendance for this game. Chuck Cliffley opened up the scoring in the first from Bob Stevenson and Greg Carroll. And then Jay Wells from Wilf Payment and Chuck Cliffley. It was 2-0 Hartford after 1. Then in the second period, Buffalo scored twice to tie the game. It was 2-2. Then Nick Futsu scored from Greg Carroll and Bo Berglund. Then Dave Poulin scored his first NHL goal. It was a shorty from Mike Rogers and Rob Ramage and made it 4-2 Hartford after 2. Then in the third period, Jordy Douglas scored from Matty Agman and Bob Stevenson. It was 5-2. Then the Sabres would add a goal. It was 5-3, and that's how the game ended. 5-3 victory for the Whalers here in Hartford. Matty Agman is hurt, however, so I don't know how long he's going to be out for. He's day-to-day, that's not too bad. Right, no further action needed for Boston's Wayne Cashman, not suspended over there. Strong night for Steve Jensen, 3 goals and an assist against the Kings. Gila first point streak ended at 12 games, no points against the Minnesota North Stars. Kent Nilsson extends his point streak to 12 games for the Flames with 2 goals against the Blues. Dave Shand is back from suspension in Calgary. I don't really care about that. Right, and we are going to sim one more day. Right, so Mike Boland has been put on waivers. Real Cloutier extends his point streak to 12 games. He had 2 goals against the Islanders. Kent Nilsson extends his point streak to 13 games. He had 2 goals and 2 assists against the Jets. Most sold jerseys for Hartford: John Garrett, Wilf Payment, Mark Howe, Gordy Roberts, and Darren Veitch. Development report. Alright, Randy Kennyworth is more aggressive now. Denis C, Kieran Gillen, Bill Kitchen, Hakan Lube, stamina and passing, that's good. Don Nagbar, Ray Neufeld, Jean Sava, Brent Sutter getting better as well, that's good. Matty Agman, Wilf Payment, Dave Poulin, that's all good. Darren Veitch, that's good. Jay Wells, that's good. Acceleration and shooting accuracy, wow, that's 2 good ones there for Jay Wells. Right, and the only ones that got worse are my goaltenders again. So my goaltenders are in a free fall. Might need to address that eventually. There's a lot of things that I like in this development. I like that Jay Wells got acceleration and shooting accuracy. That's pretty good. Top selling NHL jerseys for November. Guy Lafleur was number 1. And there was a trade between the Islanders and the Blackhawks. Mike Boland and Scott Cameron are going to Chicago for Steve Penny. Oh, Steve Penny. say that the Islanders got the better player here. Alright, and the players of the month were Gilles Gilbert and Kent Nilsson. There you have it. Alright, why does it say monthly budget? I don't do the monthly budget. Did that change when I fired my coach? It shouldn't have. I think I'm in the wrong play. Yeah, I am. That's where I want to be. Yeah, for some reason it's reset it after I fired my coach. Look at that. Okay, I think we're good. Alright. So I'm gonna save, and then we're gonna take a look at a couple of things. So of course we had a terrible month. Alright, I don't need to tell you that. Okay, you are all very smart enough to figure that out. So we dropped from 3rd in the conference at the start of this stream/video. Now we're 7th with 18 points in 24 games. That's not good enough. There's also a pretty big gap between us and 6th place, so it's going to be really hard to catch up to the Bruins. They are 7 points ahead and they have a game on hand, so it doesn't look like we're going to go back up. At least our team is happy. We are happy losing and being bad, apparently. Might be a problem, but hey, they're happy. So let's take a look in here. Yeah, the poor Kings are still the worst team in the league. They only have 4 wins. So things are not going too good in LA right now. Things are not going very good in Hartford either. So let's take a look at our stats. We don't have any injuries, so what we see here should be the best we have. So Wilf Payment is almost a point per game, 22 points in 24 games. We're going to need for him to step up his game if we want to win more games. Mike Rogers, same thing, 21 points in 24 games. Matty Ackman, 17 and 20. He's hurt now. Jordy Douglas is almost a point per game, 16 and 18. And Markow is our best defenseman with 30 points, 13 in 20 games. So yeah, we are not doing all that great. And now in the entire league, the best goal scorer is still Mike Bossy. Yeah, 26 goals. Best passer is Wayne Gretzky with 31 assists. The best scorer in the entire league is Kent Nilsson with 51 points. That's 2 more than Mike Bossy and 3 more than Wayne Gretzky. Oh, Bill Bennett is leading the league in short-handed goals. So there, we are a leader somewhere. I'm gonna save the game again. I know I just did it, but that's the paranoid guy in me. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and stop here for today. So terrible month of November. We're gonna go ahead and see if something can be done about that in December. We'll see if I do a trade or stay pat or recall maybe a young player or 2 or something. We're gonna need to shake things up, and it's not gonna be easy because we are starting December with 5 games on the road there, so that's not gonna be easy in that regard either. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and stop here for today. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in, and if you're catching this on YouTube later and that you liked what you saw, heard, or whatever, well, you know what to do. But that's it for me today. So until next time, folks, I'll see you later. See ya.